Father Paul, just in case anyone thinks I'm trying to lure you into breaking some sort of vow of silence by asking you a question, you can speak, can't you, Father?
Well, I wouldn't be much of a spokesman if I never spoke.
Catty! I like that. Why is it that monks love silence so much?
We all need silence, and it's harder to find in the modern world.
Yes, what one thinks is silence is often not, because you listen a little harder, you can hear the beep of a truck reversing, or in the still of the night, what one thinks is a neighbour's baby crying, but in actual fact it's two foxes making love with one another.
I suppose the only place one can find true silence would be outer space.
Hence the phrase, in space, no one can hear you scream.
From Alien.
Yes, I remember when I first saw that, I thought, finally, a movie that acknowledges the fact that sound cannot travel through a vacuum. I bet you guys would love a vacuum.
It'd save the brothers having to sweep the floor.
There's that cattiness again. I mean, you're clearly a character. You definitely are.
From a Christian perspective, silence is a way of forming a deeper bond with God.
Although some young Christians use noise in much the same way that sirens of Greek mythology would lure unsuspecting sailors onto the rocks, the young Christians will sing hymns whilst banging a tambourine, and in the confusion, you end up believing in God.
Well, every individual has their own way of communing with God, but that's not to say that silence is purely religious. I mean, it can work wonders for your mental well-being. Why don't we try it right now? 1 minute.
Okay.
The footage you're watching has been sped up. Current BBC programming guidelines prohibit on-air silences over 30 seconds in duration, except for state funerals like Diana's or Springwatch. While greater flexibility is permitted for BBC's 2 and 4, BBC One viewers are thought to benefit from content with frequent noises.
There's your minute.
Life as a monk begins at sunrise. As we quietly dwelt on our relationship with the Lord, it occurred to me that God, all-knowing, invisible, and all around us, is identical to high-speed Wi-Fi, which I know for a fact that they have at the monastery. I wondered what these men might have been before they found God. Can you read a man's story in his face? I believe you can. If I had to guess, I'd say this monk was quite high up in ICI. This monk also worked for ICI, but in a more junior role. I don't have any ideas about this monk. And this monk briefly joined the band D-Ream after Brian Cox left to become a scientist. I decided to stroll the grounds and soon found myself walking like a monk, hands behind my back, nodding at passers-by, a smile as my resting face. But smiling constantly starts to make your face ache. I wondered if it felt the same for Holly Willoughby. Although the Bible doesn't mention potted plants, monks absolutely love them. But when I lent a hand, I began to see a very different side to these brothers. You see, silence can be a kindness. It can show courtesy to a fellow clay pigeon shooter. But anyone who's driven home with their wife after a row at a party will know that silence can be used as a weapon. Could the monks have been doing the same? It amused me to imagine I was in an institute full of angry wives in big brown dresses. But the more they pretended not to see me, the more I wondered if it was intentional. And when a sprightly monk snatched my pot, I became convinced they were trying to break me. Perhaps they were tapping Morse code messages to each other on plant pots, like, why isn't this new man wearing brown? Let's pick on him till he either cries or cuts his hand.
Ah, here comes my queen.
Catherine of Aragon. Yes. Most handsome woman.
I think she has some hair on her top lip.
Really? I've never noticed, honestly.
No, I can feel it when I kiss her. It's almost as if she has...
Don't say whiskers. Keep going.
I only have eyes for Anne Boleyn. She has me spellbound.
But the king is married and the church will not allow a divorce.
Silence, Sir Thomas. She comes hither. Anne has a radiance that I fear may be beyond the bounds of marital obligation.
Aye, she is fucking gorgeous, I'll give you that. But to matters constitutional. The Pope is the head of the church, and he will not allow you a divorce, so you can simply have it off with Anne Boleyn.
The only it I shall have off is your head when I chop it off and put it on a spike. Silence, Sir Thomas. I am not japing around this time.
Well, it's very difficult to tell with
I shall create a new church, the Church of England.
you. Your Majesty, I implore you to stop. Assess the damage. Take small steps in the right direction.
That three-pronged plan is most interesting.
It is, isn't it? It can be applied to any situation. That's the good thing about it.
But the king ignored this advice of his much wiser friend. He made himself head of the church and married Anne Boleyn.
Thomas, why wilt thou not accept me as head of the church?
I do not think it is a forward solution.
Put down that bloody lute!
I'm just tuning it up. Chillax.
Why do you defy me?
I do not think His Majesty is thinking with his royal head, but rather with his regal
Thomas.
cock.
Thomas!
And you're not the head of the church.
Thomas! You've been a dear and trusted friend, but I will not stand for this treason!
I have a message from the Pope.
Lay it upon my table. Christ. Fuck. Right, what's my next line? Where's he gone? You are not the head of the church.
Thomas, you've been a dear and trusted friend, but I will not stand for this treason!
Shit.
I have a message from the Pope.
Lay it upon my table. You're not the head of the church.
Thomas, you've been a dear and trusted friend, but I will not stand for this treason!
I have a message from the Pope.
Lay it upon my table.
That's the last one.
Right, we're stuck in a loop. Your Majesty, we spoke of this matter at great length.
Where did we have such a conversation? I cannot recall.
Why, at Hampton Court in the car park? No, the gift shop. No, the maid.
Thomas! Stop jabbering!
Oh, sorry.
I see you are thinking of asking me not to condemn you to death.
Cheers. Please don't condemn me to death.
Silence! I condemn you to death!
No, I'll leave that there. Right, shall I just go to the Tower of London?
Yes, that's
okay.
best.
Good morrow, Your Majesty. I'll just put my hat on. Yeah. Sorry.
Take him to the tower!
Unhand me! I'm Roger Moore. Oh, shit, I've done it again.
So, a quick email here from Samantha, who says that she has fat arms.
Oh, Samantha. I mean, a lot of people, so many of you have a fixation with physical perfection these days. It's because we're bombarded with images of size zero models, an impossible ideal to attain.
It is, absolutely. Samantha, I'm sure your arms are absolutely fine. She's got an attachment here. So, oh my God, they are vast. Wow.
Alan.
That's... you've got a lovely face, Samantha. She's got a lovely face. Yeah. I've got to send this to Jonathan Ross.
OK, and, we've got a letter here from Lucinda. Lucinda says, I'm 45, but I'm going out with a 23-year-old man. We clicked straight away, but although he's very affectionate, we're yet to make love and he cannot maintain an erection. And I'm worried it's my fault. What shall I do?
Well, it's actually very common in younger men, much more so than people realise.
Yeah. I mean, these young men look all well and good in the underpant adverts, but when they hit the hay...
It's failure to launch.
I like it.
Sorry, come in here. What do young women make of it all these days?
Well, I suppose it comes down to confidence, really, doesn't it? Because I think a younger man can be a bit too eager to please, end up sort of at 6s and 7s. And then an older man, you know, with some experience, is perhaps a bit more at ease with himself.
Yeah, and of course we're very fortunate these days. We have Viagra.
Yeah, but although do not exceed the stated dose.
So you've suffered from that, have you, Alan?
No.
no.
Well, a lot of men have. I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of.
All right, once. But that was only because I'd already commenced foreplay when I remembered I hadn't renewed my tax disc. But once I put a quick call into the DVLA, lovemaking could begin in anger.
I think it's all about making sure the conditions are right, getting the mood right, the atmosphere.
Oh, sure. I mean, I'm not gonna be embarrassed about this, seeing as we're trying to be, grown up about this. There have been times when I've been more rubbery than turgid. I mean, you can't just summon up tumescence like room service.
Yeah, and I think it's partly down to the woman to sort of help set the mood a little, help man relax.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's all about mood. Take the phone off the hook. Put on some easy listening, Carpenter's, Enya, and of course, make sure the heating's on.
Okay, got another email here from Paul in Swaffham on forced celebrity breeding. This one is Kylie Minogue and David Dickinson to make an Oompa Loompa.
Absolutely. Minogue provides the size, Dickinson provides the requisite skin tone and expression. Let's have some Alison Moyet.
Spanning the length of the alphabet from A to Z, it's Alan and Zoe.
But mainly Alan. You listen to Mid-Morning Matters with Alan Partridge and my little pocket ray of sunshine, Zoe Scott.
Speaking of sunshine, Alan, have you treated yourself to a sunbed last night?
No.
What about a spray tan?
I don't think so.
Morning, everyone. You're listening to MMM with ZS and AP or ZAP.
You've got such a lovely, engaging way with people. You really have. Seriously, it really is very commendable.
Thank you.
Okay,
So, coming up, we've got...
Do you know what? We are like an old married couple.
Yeah, pretty soon we'll be bickering all the time. You'll be drinking too much.
Hey, and then you'll get jealous of my career and run off with a fitness instructor. No thanks. Been there, done that, got the T-shirt. Well, she got the T-shirt. Got the shirt off her back, really did. Fucking witch.
Well, I just found that when she strayed from historical fact into the realms of conjecture, I was all too aware of the author's hand, and that took me out of the story. Apart from that, I thought it was a very good first effort.
Yeah, I've got to say, I'm a little surprised, Crispin. I found that Mantle's main characters are scorchingly well rendered. And the sharp-clawed machinations are presented with non-stop verve in a book that can compress a wealth of incisiveness into a very few well-chosen words.
That's just word for word what it says on the back of the book.
That's my book of the week. That's Hilary Mantle's Wolf Hall. Oh! Can't wait to get my teeth into that. It sounds great. Oh, do you know what? If I'd known you were going to wear this kind of pink... I mean, I know enough about colour to know this pink clashes with that pink. Correct?
Not clash. It's just not quite the same.
This is raspberry, definitely.
Yeah.
How would you describe that?
I would say that's like strawberries and cream.
It is like it's like iced strawberry. It's like a strawberry milkshake.
Yes, it is.
I would drink you dry. I would drink you dry.
Very good.
I'm down to your boots.
Oh, God. Okay.
Can I have another?
Oh.
I'm still thirsty.
Alan, you do really remind me of my dad. You know, you'd really like him.
Well, I love dads. I am a dad. I've got a dad. Well, I had a dad.
Oh, what was he like?
What was he like, my dad? I remember one birthday he bought me this big red cake in the shape of...
Space rocket?
No.
Train?
No.
Football?
No, it was a rectangle. And I remember he came up and said, "Delivery for Mr. Partridge." Oh. I was so excited. I banged into the table and, oops, the cake went everywhere. Oh. My dad walked up to me in his blue 60s drainpipe suit with a red bow tie he insisted on wearing, and he said, "You will never amount to anything." He said, "You're that to me." Imagine saying that to a 7-year-old kid.
Alan, that's terrible.
That's not the end of the story, because as he turned round to storm off, he slipped on the cake, legs went flying, banged his head, and he needed 11 stitches. And I was glad. This is a little itty-bitty of scritty-palitty.
So, drama therapy. It's therapy that uses role play to help people work through difficult or challenging situations.
Well, like therapy, good drama encourages us to look inside. It helps us to understand our own behaviour and deal with emotional issues.
In fact, Simon was telling me earlier that Aristotle coined the term catharsis to describe the healing we experience through drama.
Hubris, nemesis, catharsis.
Well, it's all Greek to me. Thought I'd do the joke this time, seeing as Simon was being a bit serious.
But what kind of problems does drama therapy help to confront?
It's very versatile. Marital strife, workplace disagreements, psychological trauma. Drama therapy is not always easy. It can be very challenging and sometimes tearful, but it should always feel welcoming.
I think you just described the pub quiz I go to. You see, you should be saying this. Catharsis.
Now, I believe we're going to see some drama therapy in action.
That's right, Jenny. Over here, we have two actors, Daniel and Louise. And in a typical therapy situation, they would play out scenarios that couples can try themselves.
Right.
Now, in this scenario, Louise thinks that Daniel is emotionally closed off, but Daniel feels that as he's getting older, he does need more space. Guys?
And you wonder why we never resolve anything. It's because we argue, and then 5 minutes later, you get upset and I have to back down.
No one's saying you have to.
But that's what happens when you play that card.
It's not a card, Daniel. It's how I feel. Just because you're a closed book doesn't mean I have to be.
What am I supposed to say to that?
You should tell her that... Sorry, that's...
No, that's fine. Do you want to jump in?
Oh, me? God, no.
Yeah, no, please do. Step in for Daniel.
No, it's just... I've not acted for quite a while.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hadn't realised you'd acted.
Oh, yeah, I mean, just with North Norfolk players, a bit of acting, producing, directing. Most recently, A Few Good Men.
Oh,
so,
amazing. What part did you play?
The Jack Nicholson role, so
Ooh.
yeah, bit of a tough act to follow, but I just tried to do it sort of, you know, like the truth. You can't handle the truth. Yeah, so I sort of went higher, and then I did the scoff at the end, which I don't think Nicholson thought of. So.
Well, how would you feel about having a go at this scene?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, great. OK, Daniel, you step out. Louise, you're in the kitchen, you're making dinner. And Alan, start a conversation when you're ready.
OK.
Don't overthink it.
OK, yep, right. Smells good.
It's just spag bowl.
I didn't mean the dinner.
Well, you never normally come in till it's cold. I'm sorry to go on. I just don't want you to feel like I'm complaining because I want to spend time with you.
Hey, baby girl. Just been out on my bike. My motorcycling's important to me. You know that. But you know the best part of the journey? Riding that steel horse back home to you.
Try it without the accent.
Me or her?
You.
OK, but the general direction...
Forget all that. Both of you sit at the table.
OK.
Now, let's just pretend that she's your actual wife.
Yeah. Look, I wish I could spend more time with you.
See, I hear you saying that, but I don't feel it.
Then we'll figure something out, but you're going to have to stop going on at me. I'm sorry if I've got a gift that people enjoy and I find very satisfying. I'm sorry that you don't have that because for some reason God didn't give you any talent.
Shall we stop there?
Yeah, that felt good.